Morning. The time now is 6 o'clock on the dot. On Brandon T. Jones filling in for Tim and Channing. So they've got the day off. You're left behind with me, but also who's still here is meteorologist Thomas Patrick. And Thomas, it has been a long few weeks of just extreme hot temperatures, and apparently that's supposed to be the case today, but seems like we've got some relief on the way.
Finally getting some relief on the way. I think this is what everybody's been asking for. Since everybody knew that Sunday was going to be this extremely hot day, the next question becomes, when do we get a break from all of this? And I can report that we will have high temperatures in the 80s later this week. Today, though, is still near 100 degrees. We're not finished with the heat wave just yet. We're not finished with these excessive heat warnings. They do go through 8 o'clock this evening. Then they'll be allowed to expire as the worst of the heat will then be behind us. But today, right at 100 degrees, should we hit 100, we will tie the record for most 100-degree days in a single year. Yesterday was the 5th. Looks like today could be the record-tying 6th in a single year. Right now, it is still mild this morning at 74 degrees for a low temperature. That is one of our warmest lows that we've had on record in Spokane. It will be tied for top 10. So that is how we're starting the day. A little bit hazy, maybe even a little bit cloudy. We'll show you Doppler radar in just a few moments.
Alrighty, a construction alert as you head out the door this morning. Drivers who use Farwell Road east of US 2 in North Spokane will need to find alternate routes starting today. We're taking a live look at where the roads will be impacted today. And beginning in just under an hour at 7 a.m., a developer will close Farwell Road to begin installing sewer and water lines for a future development. The closure is expected to last up to 30 days. And as you wake up this morning, we also want to help prepare you for the morning commute. We're taking a live look at I-90 in Division right now, where it seems like traffic is moving at a fairly normal pace. Still early in the morning, so we're going to, of course, take live looks throughout the morning, and we'll keep you updated if anything changes here on Up with KREM. President Joe Biden, who for days has been battling COVID, announced Sunday he's ending his re-election bid. The move sent political shockwaves throughout the nation's capital as Biden also endorsed his vice president, Kamala Harris, to become the Democratic Party nominee. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Washington with reactions and what happens next.
This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris is picking up support, just hours after President Biden announced he will no longer seek re-election. The president tweeted, "It is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term," adding his endorsement of Harris and urging the party to come together to beat former President Donald Trump.
With Joe Biden as the heart and soul of our party and Kamala Harris coming out swinging against this ticket, we've got the recipe for victory.
Harris says it is her intention to earn and win the nomination.
Are you ready to make your voices heard?
She's picked up endorsements from multiple labor organizations and party heavyweights like the Clintons. Vice President Harris is piling up support from members of Congress. The DNC says it will soon implement a framework to select a nominee.
The process needs to be open to anyone else who thinks they can make a strong case that they can prevail in the battleground states, and she'll be the stronger for the contest.
Last night, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson called on Biden to resign the presidency after bashing plans to replace him.
It would be wrong and I think unlawful in accordance to some of these states' rules for a handful of people to go in a back room and switch it out because they don't like the candidate any longer.
President Biden has been isolating at his Delaware home after testing positive for COVID-19. He'll address the nation later this week. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Former President Donald Trump told CBS News the announcement of Biden's withdrawal came as a shock. He and his campaign have already begun attacks against Harris, tying her to the president's record. And with all of the latest updates, now the Democratic Party is looking towards who might be on the ticket this November. All eyes are now on Vice President Kamala Harris, who was endorsed by President Biden. Harris has been on the campaign trail this week.
Essential, consequential, and important election of our lifetime.
The vice president has a long career as a prosecutor. She served in public office as the district attorney in San Francisco before becoming the state attorney general and then a U.S. senator representing California. Other potential competitors for future running mates include Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, California Governor Gavin Newsom, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. All are possible contenders. It is not yet clear if all of President Biden's delegates will line up behind Harris, some Democrats saying they would prefer an open primary process during the convention. A reminder, the Democratic National Convention is less than a month away, and that is scheduled for August 19th through the 22nd in Chicago. Reactions continue to pour in after Biden's announcement that he is stepping down from the presidential race. It's still ahead at 6:30 on Up with KREM. We take a look at how local Washington and Idaho representatives are reacting to the news. All right, go ahead and take a look at this new ring video shared by Spokane police. It shows the moments a car full of shooting suspects rammed into an armored police vehicle. The crash injured 7 officers. It happened at the intersection of Oak and Carlisle on Friday, and Spokane police say the officers were taken to the hospital with various injuries, but are all in good spirits and expected to recover. Police were wrapping up on an unrelated search warrant when they spotted the car believed to have been involved in a recent drive-by shooting. They say the suspect's car rammed into the armored truck at a high speed, sending it spinning in 180 degrees. This morning, flights at the Spokane International Airport are still being affected by the CrowdStrike outage from Friday. Several flights going out of the airport were delayed and canceled yesterday. Several people trying to fly out of Spokane were told their Delta flights would be delayed as long as 4 days. Tech experts told our Seattle sister station one reason CrowdStrike is so widely used is because it moves quickly to address new cybersecurity threats. But the speed needed to beat those hackers can also challenge the rollout process.
For a lot of software companies, when they roll out changes, they will do gradual rollouts. And in the industry, we refer to those as rings or progressive rollouts. And you do that careful rollout to prevent exactly what we saw today. Because if you do a very fast rollout across everyone and you have a bug in it, you can impact literally hundreds of millions of people.
Experts say the incident will likely prompt many companies to review their testing process to prevent it from happening again.
It is now 6:08 as we take you back outside for a look at our forecast. Another very warm day ahead of us. Not quite as blisteringly hot as it was yesterday. We're at 107 degrees. That ends up being the 4th hottest day on record all time in Spokane history, only to be outdone by 2021's heat wave where we set the all-time record high of 109 degrees. Yeah, only 2 degrees shy of that. That is how crazy hot it was yesterday. 4th hottest on record. Today we're going to look to tie this record, which is total number of 100-degree days in a single year. Yesterday was the 5th. The record stands at 6, and I am forecasting exactly 100 degrees for today. But beyond this, it starts to get a lot better. Not just 90s, but finally some days in the 80s in our forecast. Coming up, we'll show you the last time it was in the 80s, since it has been a very long time since it's been that cool for the Inland Northwest.